Once you open your eyes each morning, so much is expected of you. Family, friends, colleagues, and many more people are counting on you.
So, how do you show up? From the very first interaction of the day with your wife, your spouse, your partner, whoever it is. Is it positive? Are you uplifting? Is it a great interaction for both of you?
And if it's not, then your day, your week, or even your month can drag on and feel empty. You can feel hollow and unfulfilled.
You know, today we want to talk to you about how to really show up. And we had a great interview with Ken Favreau, a retiree story that's on our YouTube channel. Here's a friend of ours who for 40 years was a management consultant. He actually still is. But during the peak of his career, he was putting in 7-day, 75-hour weeks. And he did that for 15 years. This was the toughest balancing act ever for him. Now, he clearly showed up for work because that was most of his waking hours. But what about his wife and his family?
And you know, it began when he started thinking about retirement, when it clicked and he knew he needed help. He did that in form of a therapist. Every Monday for 5 years, he met with a therapist, all in preparation for retirement.
So he learned a lot about himself, and he started to think a lot about what he wanted to do in his retirement. And he had to take some steps. So the first thing was he reduced his weekly hours from 75 to 60, and then to 50, and then to 40. And he did that with steps. No more 14-hour days. I'm going to have a max of 10, and then 8. And then he cut out weekends. No more Saturdays, no more Sundays. This first step was for him to really start to show up for himself.
And that was a real trigger for him.
It was.
This idea of showing up for himself and then his family. And now entering retirement, he created a half-time consulting practice. He has more time for his family, lots of times for passions like golf, travel, and exercise, and feels more well-rounded.
Right. So today we want to focus on 4 steps needed to help you to show up. Now, if you think back on your career, like Ken's career, you know what showing up looks like. You had teammates, you had clients, you had leadership opportunities, speaking engagements, and you had your family and friends. Now, in retirement, it's easy to become complacent, lazy, or indifferent about life altogether.
We come across so many people that enter this phase with the attitude of sitting back, taking it easy, and doing nothing as their goal. Mark and I changed that. We want the best we can get out of our retirement years, and we know that's not going to come easy.
And we hope you want the same for yourself too. So today we're going to go over our 4 steps. So to help you show up for yourself, for your family and friends, and for your clients if you continue to do some form of work like we are.
So there are 4 steps, and the first one may sound trite, but it's clearly to show up physically and mentally.
Every day.
Every day. By physically, I mean being there in body. And mentally, I mean being there in mind. Mark and I read an article in Psych Central that stated, while it may sound ridiculous, you actually need to be there for date night, for events, for family gatherings, for time with friends.
Right. And the thing is, if you're taking this attitude of things don't really matter and you start missing these important events, here's what's going to happen. You're going to feel regret, you're going to have unhappiness, and you're going to start feeling dissatisfied with yourself for missing these important events.
And the flip side of that is when you do show up for family and friends, you get that sense of gratification, of self-worth, of self-trust, and really being able to be your authentic self.
So, you show up for date night, but you're not there mentally. Your mind is somewhere else. It's going to be a disaster.
And that happens.
It does happen, but you've got to be present. You have to stay out of your phone. Put the phone aside, put it in your pocket. That's not very nice. I saw you point at me.
I didn't do anything.
Yes, you did. Mm-hmm. Be engaged. Ask questions. Show true interest when you're meeting with some other people, no matter what the occasion is.
So the first step, to sum it up, show up physically and mentally.
Right.
The second step is to learn to take care of yourself. You can show up in any fashion when you're strong and well. And you can't show up if you're not physically
Right.
healthy. By exercise and nutrition, making sure you have some form of movement every day.
So you show up physically, then you need to be there mentally. You have to have a positive attitude. You've got to get your mindset in check. You have to believe you're there for a good reason so that you're going to interact and have a good time. And if your stress level's really high, you've got to find ways to de-stress yourself. Whatever that is, exercise, journaling, whatever, you've got to make sure you show up without a stress attitude.
And then with respects to relationships, you got to have them be healthy and abundant, be in alignment. Sometimes you have to purge a few friends and seek a few new friends in order to feel that.
Now, the third step to showing up is to really get clarity on who you are and your purpose. And this is a big one. And it's not an easy one. We've got our online course that actually takes you through this whole process. And we're still getting clarity on what our purpose is.
And it was probably clear to you during your career, but now it's very tough. For many people who enter retirement, they feel that loss of identity, loss of community, these 40 free hours to fill, and they're just a little at sea at the abyss.
So Jody and I have this business, which is great, but we also have hobbies, and they can be part of your purpose, whether it's golf, tennis, pickleball.
Pickleball?
We haven't done pickleball
I
yet.
am so dying to do pickleball.
Volunteering is key. It's probably the highest form of engagement opportunities. It's a low and easy entry point. You can go to a food bank, you can read to kids, you can drive seniors. You can do any kind of volunteering to give you some kind of purpose.
Yeah, and help you with this identity shift.
Right.
And another one would be wisdom sharing. Volunteering, as Mark mentioned, teaching, writing a book, coaching others, engaging in your community with the wisdom you've accumulated.
So all of that is important to figure out who you are and what your purpose is. And then the fourth step, learning to show up, is really making good choices. In all the areas of your life, you've got to make good choices with your mental wellness, your physical wellness, your nutrition. As Jody said, relationships are important.
And even with your wisdom sharing, with your spiritual or emotional well-being, any one of these can get out of sync and really flip you upside down. What we're talking about is bringing healthy habits in, making good choices, and getting rid of some unhealthy habits.
So thanks for staying to the end. We want to give you our 5 tips to help you get started with how to show up. And the first one, and this is a big one for me, establishing a morning routine. Try waking up the same time every day.
It doesn't have to be 4:30 a.m. with
It
Mark.
doesn't, but start the same time every day.
Right.
Begin with some exercise.
Just body movement.
Think a little bit and write, and maybe some meditation to help with your mindfulness. Have a healthy breakfast. And the third thing is, before your day begins, plan your day so that you fill it with some fun and exciting things.
So Mark talked a lot about structure. I'm going to say a fourth thing to do would be to always do something fun, something you really enjoy. Carve that time out for yourself to do it. And always do something for yourself.
Yeah, for you, it's yoga. For me, it's watching the sun come up. Those are 2 things that we both really cherish for each other.
It's not easy every day to wake up and get ready for whatever comes at you. And you're not always in the best place for showing up. Remember, it takes discipline and effort and high energy to be your best.
So use these 4 steps and our 5 tips to be better at showing up for everyone around you. People will love you for it, and you're going to be happier with yourself. Now, if you've enjoyed this today, please share it with your friends, and also subscribe by clicking the subscribe button.
And finally, please join our free Facebook community. The link is in the notes below. And thank you for listening. We look forward to seeing you again.